Hello everyone, welcome back to the ODIN 7-day jam. It's a game jam where you make a game in 7 days using the ODIN programming language. We have, how many days do we have left? We have the jam page here. It's linked in the description. We have 4 days and 5 hours left. We have 222 joined jammers. And yeah, so if you want to join still, you can still do that. It's lots of time left. Many game jams are shorter than this, so you know, you can do that. I will start today with pouring up some coffee. Wait a minute, and put the chat here. That hello, Chris PHP, welcome. We'll have the classic thermos here. Let's see what we have inside. This is just some coffee from before lunch. That's hopefully still nice and hot. Yes, it is. Sorry about that. I'm so close to the mic, but it's like I associate that sound with like camping, or like you go for a big walk with bring coffee in the forest, and then you close the coffee or you open it and it goes. Yeah. Cheers. So, yeah, we're gonna start today with. I will just look at the Discord, like from yesterday, roughly. You know, look at the Discord, like what has happened since maybe 6 o'clock yesterday when I did the. No, I did. When did I do the stream the other day? Blah, blah, blah. I did it a bit earlier than that. I did it after lunch sometime. So some fun stuff has happened. And I will look through this a bit, just, you know, show some stuff that's happened, and then I will show what I've done on my game, roughly. And that will be good. How do I make this bigger? Like that. So, where were we yesterday? Here was my update stream. So there was someone who posted a very nice cover screen, menu screen, very nice. Some nice lighting going on here. What more fun do we have? We can actually make this even bigger. Zoom it up even more. This is also the channel where we help people, but I'm just gonna scroll through the, you know, the pictures. I had the thing that I'll show what I did later after this. So that was just a picture of my stuff. Here's someone with a little nice shooting guy that he's bouncing around in a box, sort of. Here is Akkuspel's nice water. It looks very nice, deep, cool. And here is some kind of space rail shooter thingy, cool. And this one I really like. Just haven't seen a video of this yet, I think, but I like the look of it. And this one has been going on since the beginning of the jam, and it's this sort of cool abstract space thing, I think, or something like that. But it looks quite nice. Here is the card game that someone has been working on. I liked all these little animations and stuff on there. Very nice. Here is someone who posts, like, so this person posts their game. This person posts their game. How do I speak? A web version of it. You know, you can put that up early and just post so everyone can try the game every day. And then when the game jam is over, you're done. And this game runs in the web browser, and you're a snake. It's like Snake, but you're confined in a level. Oh, I accidentally restarted the level. So you're confined in a level like this. So you have like a snake, but with pathways, which is the theme of the game jam. The game jam has an optional theme that people can use for inspiration and stuff. Very nice. Here's this thing again with the little look like some kind of shooting and these kind of dressed up little people. They look like they have ninja costumes or something. Someone's water bottle. Oh, this one I like. This is a Luden's Wanderer is making a dungeon crawler. She say it's inspired by Legend of Grimrock, which I could immediately feel because I think that's a cool game. Using a RAYLIB the 3D feature of RAYLIB. So that's cool. This is the person who did the dynamic lights and stuff in the like darker areas. So I think I showed this yesterday. I think there's a better video of it later with some where it zooms in a bit. Here is Akuspel's shooting thingy. We will see a video of that, I think. Here is some cool little. Is that match 3? Not sure. Maybe. No, it's not a match 3, but it's some kind of puzzle game. I think you need to use the sword and then combine things, and then cool stuff happens. Oh yeah, here is the Akuspils game. This I think looks very nice. It's such a nice little art style, right? It's yeah, with this little water blobbing on and everything. Yeah, looks very nice. Good job on that. Here is this little. I jokingly said yesterday that it looks like a puzzle, no, a chess, desert chess, fantasy desert chess. Hello, AKCSE. Axe. Yeah, looks very good. I like the art style of this. It feels like one of those sort of. I remember playing games like that on was it like on an Atari or something? That where you had like you placed units and then stuff happens. Ah, this is the other arena types of that one. Oh, this one I love. So this is Giraffe in Orbit, a little turtle thingy, and I just watched it yesterday, and it just made me smile. I don't know. It's just something about it. This is a little turtle walking around, can swim in the water, and then there's a raft, and you go on the raft, and you just go away. Like it's just this very cute sense of little adventure, and the little funny turtle. Yeah. Giraffe in Orbit made this sock puppet game last game jam, so this person obviously has a feeling for silly cute things, which I love. Yeah, looks very nice. This person says that they're gonna put in some more different gameplay elements soon, so very exciting to see what that will be. Here is the same thing again, but with implemented levers. So you have a lever here that the mouse clicks on, and then everything's open. So very classic dungeon crawler stuff. It's cool. Right, this is the person again with the lightings. The person said that they did a smart thing here where they make the camera zoom in when it gets dark, so it gets more and more claustrophobic. I think that's a smart thing. Like the darker it gets, like you see less because you're in a dark area, so you can't see. It's pretty interesting. And then you got a torch, I think. Walk around a bit. Very nice. This is an illustration of my fighting with weird coordinate systems. Here is someone's. I think this person is making a parkour thingy. It has some kind of homemade. This person said that they're making homemade 3D physics, and it's a bit of a struggle. But I believe in you. Hasada, I think, is the name of the person. Yeah. Oh, this one we saw quite early on, but it has lots more things going on now. This is sort of some kind of abstract resource management thing with paths. I mean, I think it looks pretty cool, and it's the person obviously try to really use the theme with the pathways. It's very nice. And then this person makes this. It looks quite nice. Little I like the colors of this and everything. I think there's a better video of this soon. Here's Dalin, who is making this Factorio style with conveyor belts, and person has added world generation, so you can zoom out like this. Very nice. And here is some flocking thing going on. Birds go there. This is the wandering birds. Yeah, very nice. And here is this one we've seen a couple of times. This person is using like their own take, and like this person has made a little own game engine actually, and is testing it out during this game jam. So it's all pretty, looks very nice. I like it. This is something smooth and snappy about how it all moves, and yeah, there's some kind of, I guess. Is it I don't know if it's like a tower defense game. We'll see how the gameplay turns out later. Yeah, almost at the end here, I think. Yeah, and the person also has made an editor for this, which is cool. This is technical problems. Again, this dungeon crawler with levers and stuff. And keep like this, I think it's very fun to see it, because this is just using RAYLIB 3D, so it's just a library for like load 3D model, draw on screen, but there's no there's no big game engine, so it's very fun to see people. Everyone puts things together. All these games look very different because they're made. All of them, none of them, there's not like a single game engine everyone is using where everyone is using the same default shader and all that. So all of them end up looking a bit different, which I find very fun. What was this? A nice space background there. Then it's the card game again. Interesting, with like it's shooting in different directions based on cards. Here's someone's little train game, very nice. And here's this person that we've seen before, some kind of pathfinding. The person is like, I'm not sure what, no win condition, but I believe in you. You can figure out the win condition. Seb is joining the game jam. They said this is I think this is some old. This is some inspiration the person had, but they're gonna start working now. This is this person who made this like nice bouncy, colorful thing. I like it. And this is me announcing this update stream. And this is AKC SE who is in the chat. And this is their game. These are the assets you made. Looking nice, looking good. Okay. So what did I do? Okay, if anyone joined yesterday, I said that I started over on a little. Oh, let's just start the game. Let's stop talking and start the game. So I started over with like SOKOL and wanted to do a little something first person instead. I still don't really have much of a gameplay. I'm taking this is a 7-day game jam. I'm just doing a bit every day and trying to host the game jam as well. But I have this, and what I did yesterday is I wanted to add in so that you could do some nice camera movements when you run back to the sides. And I sort of ended the stream with like, oh, I need to go, to a quiet place and work. I mean, not on stream is what I'm saying. I needed to figure things out, so I did that. So now we can jump around like this, and you can run, and you see how it. This is when I hold. This is when I hold the strafe buttons. It sort of goes back and forth, and it returns to the center nicely, right? And there is also a small. When you just start running, there's a small FOV increase, and it goes into a slightly wider FOV field of view quickly, and then it slowly returns it so that it doesn't become too intense when you stop it for a bit. Yeah, so that's sort of what I've been doing. I have some different things. I'm gonna figure out some gameplay, and then I'm gonna figure out I was thinking, figure out some gameplay stuff and just make it look a bit nice. Like maybe some nice backgrounds, maybe put in some textures, some interesting lighting. Maybe I'll do like shadow mapping or something. I did that in RAYLIB before, shadow mapping, so maybe I can bring it over to use. I was thinking some kind of outdoors things rather than having it be indoors. So I can do like a directional light, something, I don't know. I think what some of the programmers on the stream might be interested in is, so yesterday I struggled a bit with this, what I would call tweening, because you see this, when I just press these, it sort of goes to a state and then it returns, and when, like I said, the field of view changes when you run, and then it slowly changes back. And so I wanted a system for that. So I did that, and I can show that code. Oh, I also got it running on the, I can show that, wait. I also got it running on ODIN 7-day jam game. I also got it running on the web browser. If you go to this URL, I can post it here. If you go there, you can actually play it. I think maybe this has slightly older. I think it's mostly the same thing. That's the version I'm gonna put on itch when the game jam is over, but I just put it on my website, on a little link for now. But you can just run around a bit. And this thanks to the web build support in the SOKOL hot reload template that I made, that you can do this. You can put it quite easily on the web. There's some things in Odin that don't work in the web build, so sometimes you have to do a bit of change things up a bit, but for this one it worked almost out of the box. Yeah, so if you want to join the game jam, you just hop on the link in the description and join, and hop on the Discord. There's a Discord link in the description as well that goes to this nice channel, this Odin 7-day jam, where you can post your updates and your videos and get help also. There's also an Odin channel down here where you can get help from all the other people. Much welcome. But let's talk about what let's just shut off some tabs here with have the game running. Okay, it's just this one. Oh, yeah, one more thing I did yesterday that maybe jammers who are watching are interested in is I updated all the different web build support in the templates, and I added this stuff. Like before yesterday, this line in this HTML file looked like this. I added this, and what this does is that when you upload it to itch, and if you use keyboard focus, you will not have as much problem with it losing. You can sometimes lose focus to like a text box on the itch page, and then your game can't get it back, so you can't press any keys. So if you look on any of the web templates or whatever, the most recent commit is just me adding this stuff to this index template file, which will essentially when you click on the canvas, it will focus it, and then when it has focus, it prevents the keys to propagate to the browser. So like space won't scroll itch anymore, and yeah, you won't lose focus to things. I'm not exactly sure if this is the perfect way to do it, but it works, so yay. Anyways, so this easing, I was playing around with this easing thing yesterday, right? And I was doing like some kind of manual hacking around stuff. So we can look at the strafe left and right maybe. So I have a strafe state here, and I say strafe, I initialize it. This is an enum, strafe state none. And then if the movement is to the right, we say that you go to the right. If it's to the left, we're going to the left. And then I have this thing here that says easer set state. And then I have a roll easer, roll as in that the camera rolls a bit, like that. And I send in the strafe state here. So I tell it which one am I doing right now? Am I none, right or left? And then I have an update procedure, and we can look at what these do, because this is the sort of generalized little easy, and this is very simple. This is all it is. But I use some what's it called, parametric polymorphism and stuff here to make it work nicely. So we have a struct here, easer. So we can maybe bring up 2 panes here. Up in game as well. So if you look inside the player, I have a role Ether. So it says Ether strafe state. Strafe state is none, left or right. So when you create this one, you essentially have a list of all the targets. The targets, we can also open create Ethers here. So here you see the role Ether. Targets is for none, the target is 0. So 0 turn, like you can use the radians, degrees, or turns. I use turns here because so one here means a whole revolution, and 0.5 is like 180 degrees. So to the left, I do a bit, I roll a bit like that, and to the right, I roll a bit like that. That's just a tiny roll. That's what you see. How much of a one lap, one turn you see when you run sideways like this. It's essentially 1.5% of a turn. It might not look like it, but I think that's what it is. So the target series then, since it's polymorphic, I can just initialize it. I can say, okay, I map these. So this is a what's called array, enumerated array. So it maps all the different variants of this enum to an F32. So I just have my different values, and then I did it with the duration as well for how long it should happen. For the roll Ether, for tilting the view, I just have the same on all of them, but on the FOV Ether, so this is how many degrees of field of view it should add. So it adds 7 degrees when you're running, and so when you're just going into the running, it changes the FOV very quickly, but then it slowly changes it back, right? So then you have, that's why the duration for going, this is the duration for going into the state. Maybe it could have a better name, who knows? The duration going into the state is 3 seconds, and for going into it is 0.4 seconds. And yeah, and the target for the still one is 0. So it's 0 degrees of extra field of view. So it's like 60 maybe by default, and then it gets up to maximum of 67 when you're running, right? And let's see here, and then you have so the Ether will continuously exist and change, so it knows the current value and where it started, and then it knows the target. So it knows where it started, where do we want to get, that's the target based on the current state, and then we have a timer that just we count up, and we know which state we're in, and then we have an easing function, which is the like the remap of, essentially, we talked a bit about this yesterday, but essentially, I'm gonna find this. Essentially stuff like this, you know. Like this is a linear ease, and like I think this is they call it a smooth stop. So it starts quickly and then smoothly, and then this is the mathematical function for it. That's all. That's what that one does. It maps something in the range 0 to 1 to something else in the range 0 to 1, essentially. So then Ethers, and there is like a flux easing thing. You know, in east.odin, inside the core library, there is all this stuff here, right? To me, the flux stuff down at the bottom here is some kind of generic system for handling easings, or tweens, as people like to call them. Well, tweens is when you're using an easing. An easing is just the mathematical function, and the tweening is going between values. But I call this an easer because I don't like the word tween. But this looked a bit more complicated than I needed, the flux stuff. And when I don't need the flux stuff, then I look at the mathematical functions, and that's to me the easy part. Like I can go to a page like this and look at these different ones, you know, and I can see that, okay, this easing is just this. So that's just all I need. I need a function that takes a value between 0 and 1, and it spits back a value between 0 and 1, and this is the mathematical thing that it does. It's just 1 minus 1 minus, and then this blah, 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 all this stuff here, right? So, where was I? So when we use the, so we can also talk about so we have an ease block. So on each easer it says how does it ease, and then there's a procedure here, right? There's a procedure that I send in errors, and here you see that smooth stop. That's the same. This is the same as this, right? And then for the FOV easer, I have a slightly. This is I think it's this one. So you see, it just more slowly reaches the top. Well, it goes slower at the end. So for the FOV easer, I just have a different one. And I could, put these inside reusable procedures if I want, if I need to. So that's how it's set up. And then how it's used is, I showed this a bit just now, but just jump back and forth here a bit. So we have, for the rolling, we choose which state we're in based on the input, and then we just send that into set state on the easer. And the set state is super simple. It's just like, okay, if we're already in the state, then just return. That's because I don't want, I want to be able to constantly say, this is the state. I want to, you see what I'm doing here? I'm just calculating which state are we in, and then I say set that state. But I actually don't want it to start over the sort of progression into that state if it's already doing that, so to speak. I think that's a bit of depends on how you want to implement it. Maybe I will run into problems from doing it like that, but essentially I don't want to have an extra variable that says, have I started this thing or yet not? I don't want to have keep track of if I've entered this state already. I just want to make sure that if I try to go into a state, then it records. So yeah, if I am in the, because now I'm in the, if I stand like this, now I'm in the non-state. Now I'm in the non-state, right, of strafing, and now in the left, and now in the right. So if I'm in 0, then I just want to, the first frame when I have the left or right held, I just want to start a transition from none into left or right, right? So for example, it might be none here one frame, and the next frame maybe I'm going to the right, so then it will send in a strafe state here, and then this one would be like, okay, set the state, reset the timer, and then say that the start is the current one. The current value of this would be 0 because it's standing, there's no roll on the head. Now it's like, yeah, it has no roll right now. And it knows the target because it has this list of targets, right? So it just needs it sets the state here. So then later each frame this sets, but this will have no effect if the state was already the same. So the next frame, for all the frames where it still is right, the strafe state, it will just continue to send in right here, and it will just return. It won't do anything. Okay. So then but every frame it will run the easer update procedure, which is you send in the whole easer again, and you send in the delta time. Maybe I could have a global delta time somewhere, but that's how I did it here. It doesn't matter that much. So I send that in, and I use that to increment the timer, and then I fetch the target. So for the right one, the target will be, what will it be? Create easers. For the rolling to the right, it would be 0.015. Okay, so then that's that, and then duration is 0.2. So it fetched that. Okay, so it knows what it needs to go to. It knows the duration. The T is so I said that an easing goes from, what you need is an input of a value between 0 and 1. So you need to convert your value to a range of between 0 and 1. So your duration, if your thing is supposed to take 5 seconds, then when it is at 5 seconds, the value should be 1, right? So that when the timer hits 5 seconds and your duration is 5 seconds, then it should be 1. So that's why we divide by duration here, and then we clamp it so it doesn't overrun that range. Hello, Razvan. So that's our T, so value between 0 and 1. And then we check, do we have an easing function? If we don't have an easing function here, this will just be a linear interpolation. But if we have an easing function, like we do in these cases, then it will run it here, and that will just feed in t, and it will set the new t, like that. Huh? And it will do this. So this will make it the smooth stop of it. And then it uses the lerp to lerp between the start, and the start was set in the set state. So it knows that there can be lots of different things going on there, because now if I just start running to the right now, like if I start running to the right now, then when it was doing that lean towards the side, the start was 0 and the target was 0.015, and I used the timer to sort of write that. But you might, stop in between. Like if I just do that, you see, it still sort of does the correct thing. It doesn't. I mean, it's a bit sudden movement, but it's sort of smooth movement. And that's because when I release one of those keys to go to the left or to the right, it tries to go into the none state again, and then it will, since it here sets the current value, it will use that as the start, because then it goes into the none state here, sets this to none, it starts over the timer, but it starts from where it currently was, which is why this works nicely. So that's what it does. It just sets the current value like that, and then it also returns it. That's just so you can use it for something. So you update it. Maybe you can also just fetch the easer.cur, but I return it here also. Yeah, that's essentially it. And then I easer update. Then in the roll case, I put a minus sign here because not so important. I could have flipped the value in the easer, but anyways, I just use that for the roll, and the roll is then later used when I make the view matrix. I send in your pitch roll like that. And the view matrix is just a little procedure that's here. Right, so so that's that. I was quite happy with how easy that turned out, actually. Like that this easer function file was so simple, and it captured most of it. Like I did it for the rolling, and then I used it for the field of view, and it just worked. So I'm quite happy with that. We'll see if maybe there is I run into some problems maybe with what kind of problems could I have. I might need to generalize some more stuff in here. Maybe I will need like different easing functions for going into different states or something. We'll see. Yeah. Llama Toast asks, what's the goal of the game, Carl? Well, that's a good question. I wanted to make a first-person thingy in SOKOL, so I actually don't have much gameplay yet. I wanted to make the camera feel nice, so gameplay is currently nice to run around. But I'm thinking I have some different ideas. Either I'd do a little shooter. I'm not so big on making like violent games, but maybe I could do like a sci-fi laser pew pew pew. You run fast and shoot things. I would like to make like a little RPG thing with like where you go around and talk to people and collect items, but somehow this sort of camera that I worked up feels more actiony, and I kind of want to try to do something with that. If you slow down the game a lot, it it's weird if you have a game that has where the game itself is sort of slow and like taking it easy, and then you have this super action running cam. I can slow it down, make it less intense, but we'll see. Yeah, I was thinking of maybe like a nice thing I thought about yesterday would be like a Metroidvania, but with first-person moves. So maybe you can have like a wall run, or like some kind of, maybe you can have a rope to jump with. But yeah, we'll see exactly what I do. So I did the easer thingy. I also changed the lighting. I mean, this is just a directional light. There's no shadow, so I want to add some shadows too someday. that's mostly it. I also added some super basic touch controls that are totally broken. If you try to go onto this link on your phone, it might work. You might be able to use the left and right side of the screen to move, but it's gonna be like, it's super awful. I made that very quickly. I just wanted to try, see what could happen. All right. But yeah. Also, one thing I did with since I'm using the hot reload, what I do is I recreate the easers when on hot reload. So this stuff here actually runs whenever it hot reloads because they use a function procedure. They use a procedure pointer here, right? So this will not update when the hot reload runs. So I just recreate them. Also a nice way to reload shaders I figured out, because we can open the shader here. If we have the game running here, and this is our shader we have here, and we change the light, maybe we make it way less green. We recompile and you see it just changes there. And I actually haven't done almost anything to make that work, because the thing about SOKOL is that the shader compiler compiles into like a generated shader file. So the SOKOL shader compiler makes this file, which contains the binary blob for your different shader formats. In this case, HLSL. If you're on web, it makes a web GL. Well, I guess it sort of compiles the GLSL somehow. I don't know if you can pre-compile that or if it just puts the source there and compiles it when it starts, but never mind that. But it does that, and then that is part of my game. So when I hot reload, it already has the new code. It just has to recreate the shader somehow. That's all it has to do. So what I do is I just run on hot reload. I just run recreate pipeline. I just destroy the old pipeline. And if you have several different shaders and stuff, maybe you need to. Maybe this is a bad way to do it. Maybe I should just keep the same pipeline, and maybe I should just keep the same pipeline here, and just recreate the shader and set it on the current pipeline. But it doesn't matter for now. I can do that later if I need to. But that will reload the shader, since this will use that stuff from the generated file. The TextCube shader desk, blah, blah, blah. TextCube shader. This procedure here will be different for each time it hot reloads. So then it just reloads the shader. So it just works. Yeah. So I just do the normal compile. There's no special. It's the same I do as when I hot reload, because it sort of does hot reload it. It just needs to run some stuff to recreate the shader. Okay. That's mostly what I did. What I need to do is figure out some gameplay. I don't think I can do that on stream, because I noticed that I can do technical things on stream if I know what I'm gonna do, like implement things. But I'm not very good at thinking creatively on stream. We could also try to put in some shadow mapping. Right. But that's not very important. That's just an advanced form of procrastination, putting in like, oh, I want to put in shadows, and there's still no game. Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out now what to do for the game itself. Yeah. That's the thing, right? I like, if you played my video game Cat and Onion, like the thing I struggled with most in that game was the game design. It's sort of like a little story-based adventure game. I'm not that good at designing, like, deeply. I like writing characters, and I like, writing dialogue and making sure that the gameplay is consistent, but I'm not that good at coming up with weird gameplay. At least that's what I tell myself. Maybe I'm just having imposter syndrome. But I'll just do something. yeah, there's a bunch of different things. I'll gonna try to figure that out. I'm gonna try to figure that out during the afternoon. Maybe I'd rather do something weird than do something like, oh, you know, the only thing is that, you know, I have this fast, cool movement, and lots of the ideas that I have don't fit with that because I like slow games. So it's a bit like my favorite game is like Outer Wilds, which is like, oh, you're going around in space and just looking at things, looking at text, and well, I mean, you go very fast in your spaceship, but it's not. One could say that it's an interesting game, that one, actually, because it's a game of urgency without it feeling too urgent somehow. But I love that kind of stuff where you have like first person adventures with mystery, and wow. Also, like, I like any first person like gameplay games that are like very creative about gameplay and story and whatever, and the first person. I have something I like about them. I like also The Witness. I think it's a very good game, and Outer Wilds, and I like story game, like, you know, What Remains of Edith Finch was probably the best story. Like, people call it like some people are calling it a walking simulator, which I think people who don't like those games maybe call it, or people who yeah, I don't know, but I think it's brilliant in how it's executed. It's like just tells you a little story and you explore it in your own little time. But yeah, and also the RPGs. Like, I think, you know, I love the old Fallout games, the Fallout 1 and 2. I think they're great, but I think nothing beats Fallout New Vegas. That's the best Fallout game ever made, Fallout New Vegas. Something about bringing it into first person and still having this world. But I don't like first person shooters so much. Like, Fallout New Vegas is, you know, almost, but I used to play a lot, like, you know, Quake and Doom and stuff, and Counter-Strike. But I don't enjoy playing those anymore. But I like everything that's first person that's not a shooter. Like a pure shooter. Yeah, it's so cool in Fallout New Vegas that because the Fallout New Vegas has maybe the most amount of developers that also worked on the old Fallout 1 and 2 games. So they were like doing all this kind of funny, nostalgic stuff where they're like, oh, let's just reuse some of the music tracks from Fallout 1 and 2 where it fits. So there's a few, sometimes in Fallout New Vegas, they will just come on some music from Fallout 1. It's very eerie. Yeah. Wee. So yeah, I think we'll just cut it short here. This is just a short update stream. I will come back later today or tomorrow with what I will need to sit down and do some creative thinking. I can't do that on stream because it's like trying to write a book while someone is watching. Anyways, I'll see you later or tomorrow. Thank you for watching, and join the jam if you want to make a game. It would be great. See ya. Bye. Thanks for watching.